from my own experience as an immunologist, I would not at all be surprised that the adequate full regimen for vaccination will likely be 3 doses. And the reason I say that is that it's very clear when you give a prime and maybe a second shot as a boost, but give the immune system enough chance to mature in both affinity maturation and maturation of the B cell repertoire, it is entirely understandable why the results that I just reported from the Israeli boosters are so dramatic. And we all hope, and I believe we have good reason to believe, that that only will not be a strong response, but that it will actually be durable. And if it is durable, then you're going to have very likely a 3-dose regimen being the routine regimen. But we'll just have to wait to make sure that that's the case when the...
There it is, from the mad scientist's mouth himself, making sure that we all understand that it's the recommended regimen will be 3 doses of this medical procedure. And who knows what the future holds. Maybe there'll be more down the line, but we will just have to wait and see. Thanks for checking back, freedom fighters, here on YouTube to Break the Chains Media. Today is Tuesday, October 26, 2021, and I'm your host, Corey, here on Tyranny Response Tuesdays. We've got a lot of things to go over, and if you want to see all the unfiltered, uncensored, raw information that I can't really talk about here on YouTube because I've got to skate the lines and talk about very specific things and say certain things and can't say other things. You know how it is here on YouTube. They're going to YouTube. YouTube's going to YouTube. Find the pinned comment down below with all my alt-tech platforms, BitChute, Minds, Rumble, Gab. I'm on Telegram, t.me/BreakTheChainsMedia, where you can catch the full-length, unfiltered, unedited, all the raw story in the videos on the alt-tech platforms there. But here on YouTube, we're going to just do a quick blast, a quick overview of the things we're going to be discussing. And this just breaking, and I just found this out as I was about to record this is Pfizer COVID-19 procedure is safe and effective for elementary school children, according to the FDA, from 5 to 11 years old. Okay. So they reviewed data on the 22nd showing that a kid-sized 2-dose regimen of the current medical procedure is safe and effective and 90.7% effective against symptomatic illnesses from the virus in children's ages 5 to 11. And we've got all of the breaking news here on Twitter, and you can check it all out for yourself. You need to do your own medical decisions and do your own research. This is coming straight from the CDC and the FDA himself. So I'm just reporting the news. I'm not telling any medical decisions to do with anything with your body, as this whole video will disclaim. I am no medical doctor. I'm just reporting the news. So with that being said, we will talk about all kinds of fun and interesting things. We will talk about how the Surgeon General offers advice on mixing and matching COVID vaccine booster shots between Pfizer, Moderna, and the J&J, so you can have varying degrees of your boosters, and you could take a little bit of this and a little bit of that and mix it all together. It's kind of, your decision. Do your own research. But in the full-length video, I go into all the details there. And I do want to bring up the fact that on the CDC's website, it does state here that the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is a viral vector vaccine, and the BioNTech for Pfizer is an mRNA type vaccine. And if you scroll down here, and this is the CDC's website, and I'm reading it right off of their page, okay? You should get a COVID-19 vaccine as soon as possible. Do not wait for a specific brand. All currently authorized and recommended COVID-19 vaccines are safe and effective, and the CDC does not recommend one vaccine over another. Just below that, COVID-19 vaccines are not interchangeable. If you receive a Pfizer, BioNTech, or Moderna COVID-19 vaccine, you should get the same product for your second shot. That is off of the COVID-19 CDC.gov website. I'm just reading it straight from there. And meanwhile, I also have this stating that the Surgeon General offers advice on mixing and matching vaccines. If you've gotten a Pfizer or Moderna and you did well with your primary series, I think it's quite reasonable to stick with what you've originally got. The good news is that for Johnson & Johnson, you've got a good options now available. And so there's a full article stating in regards to the boosters. We have good options now. We have flexibility in terms with which vaccines you get, and the boosters will extend and enhance people's protection. So if you're eligible, I would urge you to go out there and get that booster shot. Okay, so that's all from mainstream news. I'm just reporting the news, not making a medical decision here or there. We will also look into how there's an over surplus of 800 million doses split among 3 manufacturers. It's rather interesting how there are so many doses available in the United States. The planned purchase of Joe Biden's 100 million more doses of the J&J would bring the order to 800 million doses split among 3 manufacturers. Okay? So we have a surplus of over 800, or not a surplus, but we've purchased as a country. The government has purchased 800 million doses split between 3 manufacturers, and a good portion of our population is vaccinated. And I urge everyone to do their own medical research and do everything that is needed, and talk to your own doctor regarding the procedure. It's just rather interesting how there is a vast majority of doses, and now they're suggesting for a 3rd round of boosters. So very interesting on that. We will talk about all of that in the full-length uncensored video on the Altec platforms. Pin comment down below if you want to see that. Okay, and right here off of Real Clear Science, we have a medical doctor speaking about booster doses for the immunocompromised. And I do believe that there are people that are more susceptible than others, and he thinks as well. But he also states here that there is a low efficacy rate, and there's much more studies that need to be done to show the viability of the 3rd round of boosters. But that is not my opinion. That is just news that I'm reporting on. All right? YouTube and Susan Wojcicki, I'm not making a decision either way. And going off of that, jumping right into Dr. Fauci himself. And we're going to be talking about where Fauci's money and the funding from all of these different studies and all the breaking news regarding Fauci-funded experiments. The NIH has admitted that Fauci lied about funding the Wuhan gain-of-function experiments. So it is point-proven positive that new information in regarding EcoHealth Alliance and the funding of the Wuhan lab out in China. So there is that. That is a factual evidence, and you can go look at that and look at the full-length video on the Altec platforms. And then in more risque topics, we are also talking about Fauci's puppies and all of the experiments that he did with the puppies. Okay, from the video I showed earlier. This is from Newsweek. Okay, experiments involving testing drugs on animals. In some cases, they were debarked through a procedure called chordectomy. And the fact that chordectomies this whole thing was funded by taxpayer money, mind you. Okay, $1.68 million in taxpayer funding, involving 44 beagles that they bred in captivity. They raised, and then they proceeded to do these experiments on them, which are rather inhumane and very disturbing, to say the least. So there's that, right? Yes, chordectomy is cutting a dog's vocal cords in order to prevent them from barking, howling, or crying. Cruel procedure, which is opposed with rare exceptions by the American Veterinary Medical Association, the American Animal Hospital Association, and others, seems to have been performed so that the experimenters would not have to listen to the pained cries of the beagle puppies while literally, if you have children in the room, I'm sorry, just forewarning, while literally the puppies' faces were eaten by parasites and bugs until they died. So there's that. Very, very unfortunate. And yeah, this is all funded by the mad scientist himself, Dr. Fauci. Okay, and in finishing up, it wasn't just beagles and monkeys. Fauci's NIH also funded medical experiments on AIDS orphans in New York City. Okay, so we've got a laundry list of this funding by Dr. Fauci here, while he's sitting up there telling you to do these medical procedures, which you should do your own research on. But he's sitting up there telling us all to do these things. For the past 2 years, he was the arbiter of truth. Dr. Fauci could do no wrong. Meanwhile, he has a wide and vast history of very questionable experiments that were done. Okay, he used taxpayer monies to have dog tortures and eaten alive by parasites. Okay, in Tunisia. On top of that, he funded gain-of-function research in Wuhan, China. And on top of that, he spent $16 million in taxpayer funds on toxic brain injection experiments on monkeys in 2018. And this is just crimes against humanity right here. Dr. Fauci was also caught funding experiments on AIDS orphans at a New York City hospital in 2004. The Fauci NIH approved experiments on hundreds of New York City orphans. Government agencies and pharmaceutical companies used the orphans in deadly AIDS drug trials. They reported that 25 children died during the drug studies. An additional 55 children died following the studies in foster care. And according to Tim Ross, director of the Child Welfare Program at Vera, as of 2009, 29% of the remaining 417 children who were used in drug studies had died, out of a total of 532 children that are admitted to have been used in the study. No payments or compensation has been paid to any children using the trials or to their families. Okay, so it's rather shocking, unfortunate, and shameful that this type of information has been brought to light, and it's Dr. Fauci, the one who's been sitting up there for the last 2+ years, 3 years, talking about medical procedures and scientific studies and what we should do as a population. And like I said, I'm just reporting the news. I'm not making a decision here or there about anything regarding in this entire video. But I wanted to be clear, to break this out to you, to let you guys be aware. If you want to see the full uncensored, unredacted, and non-YouTube content, pin comment down below, link into the description there. You can also check out me on my alt tech platforms, BitChute Minds, Twitter. That's all down there. It's all there. And then lastly, you can check out my Twitter page here. I'm sorry, this isn't Twitter. This is Telegram, t.me/breakthechainsmedia. This is one of my art drawings that I recently just did, so you can check me out, t.me/breakthechainsmedia. I really appreciate you guys coming back, and hopefully this video stays up here on YouTube, because I'm just doing the news, folks, not making a decision here or there. I appreciate you all. I love you all. We'll see you soon. Always fight for freedom.